Hi guys, Dan here again with another speedrun tutorial. In the last video I covered Chris 100% on Resident Evil HD Remaster. So this time we're going to do Jill. This video is taken from a very old VOD of mine, which is up on YouTube, which I will link in the description below for you guys. So it is a little dated. I've changed a couple of things as far as my setup in regards to, like, you'll notice here I have the display set to original. I do wide now. That really doesn't mean much. You can do either one you want. Then obviously you want your move type on a range, subtitle set, whichever. I always leave them on. A note though with this run is it is done in the Japanese text, which is actually not the fastest anymore. Since I ran this, Chinese traditional was patched into the game, and you can select that now, which is much faster. Not much faster, but it is faster. And so yeah, go for that. But yeah, let's get right to it. It should be here a bit. For the record, I'm by no means a world record holder of this game. I just feel I know the run pretty well. I can explain it fairly well. So hopefully, you guys can come away with this. If you ever have any questions during the run, or if I miss something, feel free to leave a message in the comments asking, or you can reach out on Twitter or, anything like that. But for now, let's go ahead and do it. Never hesitate to ask. That's basically what I'm saying. Alright, obviously, make sure you pick the top choice here for your difficulty. That is the only valid option, unless you're running, like, New Game Plus, which is the very easy difficulty then. Costume does not matter. I usually just go with the default ones here. Like, you could use the RE3 Jill, even if you really want, but you do have to manage the rocket launcher then. And while that doesn't really matter, I mean, if you're used to it, the thing is if you're not used to it, you're going to have your inventory in different slots. I personally wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, just obviously skip the cutscenes. As far as starting your timer goes, that's totally up to you. I always start mine the moment I select my character, just so I am guaranteed it's on the mark every time. But there's people that'll start at the moment gameplay starts, whatever. You have plenty of options there. So you notice I skipped this stuff there, obviously. With Jill, though, first thing first, unequip your pistol and head right back through the double doors. You do not go and see the zombie in the infamous scene, if you will. You do not do that in the speedrun. It is quicker to do what I'm doing here, even though it is, a bunch of load screens. Turn around, go right back again to the door a second time. This will trigger Barry to call you over, and go ahead and grab the emblem there if you want. You don't have to grab it right then. I always do. You have the inventory luxury to do so, so just go ahead. A bit on the movement here. You have the two options of alternate controls, which is using the analog stick to freely move, or the D-pad, which uses the traditional tank. You will want to alternate these movements throughout. Alright, so right there you noticed I did a little bit of a jittery movement up the steps. That is called Stair Skating, which to do this, you use the D-pad, which will put you in the tank control mode, and you line yourself up with the steps, and you mash the run button up the steps. What this does is it just stutters your character almost up the steps much quicker than the default speed, and if you get really quick with it, it'll appear your character is just gliding up the steps. It is very nice. Yeah, you'll notice it right here. I'm far from great at it. I mean, but you can see how much quicker it is, even from somebody that is not the best at it. Now, in regards to the movement choice of analog versus D-pad, I personally use, like, a room like this, I'm using the analog stick because I'm dodging zombies. because it's much easier just to dart in a direction around them like that. Or for me it is. That's just how I learned, and that's how it's practiced, or I practiced it. Some people prefer to use the tank and just back up and angle your movement along that path. That seems more difficult, but it's probably a little more efficient on the movement standpoint. Again, that's very high-end level stuff. So after you grab the arrowhead there, just pass through the doors here and we'll head out to the graveyard here. Some interesting movement in here. For the first zombie, always try and take this inside route here. Every once in a while, he'll be standing pretty close to where Jill is now on here. You just have to kind of improvise, either bait an attack or go around him if that's the case. But most of the time, you can just take this inside route. But the interesting thing is, you notice I go straight to this right side here, because if you go any further left than that, you're going to alert this guy, and that means you're going to have 2 zombies to dodge when you come back up here, and you don't want that. So just take the outside route here, straight forward, until you basically run right into where you'll use the arrowhead. And menuing here, you'll get quicker at as you go along. It's a big practice thing. But here's a good example of the stair skating. Looking back at this older video, I'm actually... it's about the same as it is now, never mind. But I use the D-pad at the base of those steps there to take that... I hit upright at the base of the steps to take that quick turn corner. And it keeps it all your movement very clean. Where the analog stick, you'll be fighting with the fixed cameras and everything a little more, and it's just a lot more loose, so it's just harder for precision. But go ahead and get the sword key out there. A lot of the times you're going to use items, you're going to wait for the menuing time to do it. There really isn't one for the sword key, so just go ahead and get it out when you picked up the book. A little bit on splits. What I would recommend, especially if you're on the console, is to go ahead and go ahead and split at the door after. That's what I do. I think it, that way you just don't have to think about it. Now, if you're on PC, you can just use an auto splitter, and, you're fine. But don't try and split when you pick up the item immediately. I would not recommend it. It's just cumbersome. If you're using manual split, like on a keyboard or something. Now, if you have a foot pedal or something like that, then that changes everything. But anyway, with Jill, you can just run straight to this door. If you watch the Chris video, you'll notice we had to go into the bathroom to get an old key. Jill does not have to do that because she does have the lockpick. You'll notice a lot of benefits from her run as opposed to that one. Quick note, there was a tool there. You notice I took a little bit of a wide turn there. Just run around it. Little cheeky placement there to kind of hold you up. Yeah, just run on through here. This route's pretty straightforward. You can, the little pathway through there, you just practice it. Not much to it, really. Alright, just angle yourself down. I use the analog stick in that room just because I feel I can get moving quicker with it out of the gate. And just straight up here. Alright, and we're going to come to the corner zombie here. What I do is I use the corner to kind of lure him. He'll grab into it, so you'll be safe, and you can just go right around him. Now, it looks like, in this particular instance, he's pretty far up already, so I'm going to have a lane here to go around, and it looks like I recognize it in the run here and take it. Yeah. So sometimes he'll be a little further back, and you can use that corner to kind of help guide you around. Alright, this guy here, just take a wide turn here to where basically your shoulder is about to clip the wall, and you'll get by his grab pretty much every time. It's every once in a while he'll troll you and grab you. Now, that's just the way this run is, where sometimes the unexpected will happen with zombies. They aren't consistent by any means. But once you get into the room here, just go ahead and grab the lighter, run straight back across so you'll be in line to get the dog whistle. That's why you do it that way. and then just go ahead and leave. You could pick up the whistle first and then the lighter, but I personally like doing it that way because you're right, you can just quickly leave that way. All right. Now you'll notice when I got to the end here, I waited just a little bit because I wanted the camera to change so I could see where this guy was, because he will either be on the right or the left side of the hallway, and it's just a dice roll of which side you're going to get. So play it safe. It's a good thing, especially early on. If you're pushing like very high end times, you know, you don't have a moment to stop or hesitate, if you will, then, well, you know, you run the risk, but, you know, it will save you time over what I just did there, but... So we're going to be coming up on the dog collar here. I do a different method than a lot of folks. I will... Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay, well, I'm going to show the other method, I suppose, in this run. What I usually do is I grab the dagger I just passed in the hallway there, and we'll shoot 3 times to trigger a pounce from the dog and use the dagger to finish it off. I'm actually curious to see what I do here. Yeah, obviously equip your gun. Never have the gun out unless you see it like in a run like this, because... So I shoot it, and then it jumps, and I shoot it down out of the air. So that gave me the time to shoot it, and I dodge the bite and kill it before it can get to me. So there's a lot of risk with this, but it is quicker than using the dagger like I talked about, and it allowed me to get out of there clean. The problem with what I just did there is you run the risk of the other dog getting into the way a lot more, but it is much quicker. This run's a lot more refined. Of course, I say that right as I'm doing a sloppy attempt of a dodge, but I was too far away, by the way, on that dodge. This run's going to be a little more refined, I believe, than the Chris one, because this one I was really starting to grind down times. At the time, I think I was in the top 4 or 5, something like that, for this game. I've long since decayed down the list from then, but I was really pushing it a lot more. But anyway, enough about my ventures. You just come through here, and we'll be coming up on the murder hall here after you replace the fake armor key here from the dog collar. And this is one of the most challenging rooms in the game. You'll have to go through here twice, all the way through, and it does depend a bit on luck where the bald zombie will be, because the Crimson Head and the first zombie, or I guess the last in this case, will be in the same spots, but I'll see about pausing it and giving you guys a little bit of a breakdown here when we get in here. Again, if I miss anything or don't elaborate enough, I may have mentioned it in the Chris video and not wanted to... Alright, so this is good, because in the Chris video, I had a clean one where this bald zombie was all the way back. He'd be like off screen almost here. So I just had a clean run through with that. This one, though, you'll notice I run through, Elder Crimson grabs at me, so I'm going to have to adjust this guy. So I back out of him. You do a quick dodge on him. He should grab at you. You just have to take maybe just a full step back, just enough to get out of the way and dart forward, so the Crimson Head doesn't, get you before you can get away. Again, he'll take out the bald guy for you. Now this guy can sometimes troll you. He grabbed right away. Every once in a while, that last guy will wait, and he just won't grab at you, and so it's almost like you have to pick your poison of taking a hit from Elder Crimson or a grab from him. If you see it seems like something's like that, and you're not worried about early resets, just take the grab and run. Alright, so you notice a difference from Chris is we're taking right and we're going up and through this doorway here. We're going to get the grenade launcher, which is Jill's. This is the weapon that'll carry the rest of the run for Jill, which Chris unfortunately does not get. And obviously just take your pathing through the outside here. Skip a scene, grab the grenade launcher, which Barry gives you. There's a dagger on the bench there beside Barry if you need another defense item. Then just go ahead and leave. Again, a thing on defense items, I mentioned this in the Chris run as well. Do not feel bad about picking them up while you're learning. Because the most important thing, to me anyway, is making sure you know how to do the run, how to get through the run, everything like that. Do not worry about, like you'll learn zombie dodges and you'll get better at them and you should practice them. But it's nice to have the safety net because you only get 2 or 3 bites and you're dead. That's not a lot. So don't feel bad if you starting out need to pick them up to help you out or anything like that. But, so anyway, we go in there and we see Richard and we got to go get the serum for him. Pretty straightforward stuff here. I mean, this is what you'd be doing normally anyway. Just head straight through the doors there. My movement is not very clean on this run, though. There's a lot of drifting, and wonder why that is. I wonder if I was using the analog stick more when I did this run, because it will not have the precision of the tank controls. But, here, that looked a lot better. Time ends up being pretty good, though, so maybe I'm just being overly critical. But anyway, just, I used the D-pad through that whole room. You can get around the railing real well, and down the steps, obviously, for speed skating. So, with your inventory there, let me pause this real quick. You put the knife, shield key, or sword key. The knife, the sword key, which is the first key you get, and the pistol away with Jill. Those 3 items are put away, and then you grab the serum, and then you leave. If you take a number of hits, you could grab the first aid, but I would recommend waiting on that and grabbing a green herb when we go to use the chemical here in a moment. Some of that stuff as far as healing, you just gotta improvise on, as it goes. All right, here's another guy. You'll notice I ran straight into the wall here. That was to shift the camera, because again, this guy will be on the left or the right here. And, you're kind of rolling the dice of which side it'll be, but you can just run here. It'll shift the camera and you can see. So you can adjust accordingly before in plenty of time. And obviously it's a bit of a dice roll if you can do that again and save yourself a little bit of movement time. But you do run the risk of getting bit. There's a taser right there, as you can see on the table to Jill's left if you want to pick up another defense item. Just head down here. You can stop right in front of the device here and put the chemical in. You do not have to run around in front of it. Alright, just hit the first option. That'll put it on red. And kill the plants. And this is where you can grab a green herb if you need it. This is where I typically do if I take any damage early on. Of course, by this point, I might have been resetting at early zombie bites all the time. But anyway, there's the first of the death masks. Alright, just try and keep yourself straight. Go along the wall here so the zombies don't knock into you. Just go all the way down. We don't have to go in that side room like with Chris. With not having to grab the old keys. Right? Oh, that was bad. Just with the analog stick, a better option than what I just did there is hit down and right coming out of that door, and it'll angle you right into the door to the main hall here. Just work your way around, head through the double doors. And then just work your way back up. Make sure you stair skate, and stair skate. Every little bit helps. It may not seem like it, but it does. Because the characters are so slow on the steps normally. It's crazy. Just head on back through here. You'll be going through this door a few times. Alright, there's Richard. We just leave Richard here on this run. A few oddities on this run. Oh, an interesting thing on doors. I know I did not mention this in the previous video. With doors, all right, I want to pause it real quick. With doors, you can hold X when you're approaching them, and it's the moment you hit the hitbox for them, it will trigger that you activate it, and you'll go through. So you can hold X like going up a hill to Lisa's cabin, Jesus Christ, and you can hold X that whole time if you really want. I don't know why you would that early, and it will hit her door as quickly as possible that way. It's very nice on a couple of awkward turns and whatnot. But that zombie, so as far as that zombie goes that we just dodged, he'll either lunge at you on the left wall or you can run around him like I just did. It's kind of a 50-50 thing which version of him you get. So just take your time, check for the dodge a couple times. If he doesn't lunge at you, just go for the around. It's not a guarantee he won't grab you then. It can happen. It's a very frustrating thing, but it's just the way the zombies are running this game sometimes. Alright, so run around the table here. Go ahead and use the lighter. Then push this. 1, 2. Alright. I stand at the bottom of the wall here and bait out the attack from the zombie. Now, what I'm doing here is a little riskier because I'm running the risk of getting stuck on these boxes. So what you can do is just go around the side here and through. I did that in the Chris video. In this one, I'm going to go through here. Basically, you're trying to get the zombie to spin, and you just, like, kind of create the space, like a turnstile almost. Ooh, I get bit, so yeah, that was a bad decision. Okay. So yeah, don't do that. There's a good example of why not to risk that, because I just didn't have the space I thought I did. I don't know why I did that. That was very greedy. This run is going pretty well too. There's no need for it. But anyway, go ahead and with the music, head on out. We'll be heading back to the main hall. There's some more herbs if you need them. Yeah, if you're wondering which category you should start with running this game, I would say it ultimately doesn't matter. I mean, there are any percent categories, which would involve basically finishing the game as quickly as possible, which means you don't save, in Jill's case, Chris or Barry, or then Jill or Rebecca with Chris. But you don't kill the final tyrant either. You just get the bad ending and it's done. I personally don't like those categories. I don't know, it doesn't feel very fulfilling. But everybody has their preference in that regard. Those are good to start with because they are easier. You have less to worry about. As far as characters go, though, really, Jill is easier. I don't think there's any dispute about that. So if you're worried about that, I would start with her. I think her run's a little more fun. It has the grenade launcher, and bosses are a little quicker to kill and everything like that. So you do have that benefit. So if I were you, I would do Jill any percent or Jill 100%, which 100% is what this is to start out with. But anyway, you notice I did a dodge on that somewhat trolly zombie in the hallway here. This guy's more of a pain for Chris because you have to go past him twice, but sometimes this guy will not lunge at you and you can just run right by him like I did. But go ahead and solve the piano puzzle. You notice you can move the shelf once to grab the sheet music. I should have mentioned that when it happened, but and just run to that guy's side and get back out, so you can go use the gold emblem here. We'll solve the clock puzzle. Alright, I'll try and do this a little better than yesterday. So basically you hit yes. Then you click right and hit the option. Left, and then hit the left. And that'll move it. And this is basically asking if you want to keep moving it. So you click yes. Then click right. And then click You hit right X and then just X, basically. Right X, X. So it's difficult to explain, but it's then just hit no when you're done, because you'll be done moving it. You'll get the shield key. It's very it's difficult to explain, but if you know the solution, it's very easy to do. Bottom line. I wish I could do a little better explaining of it, but I mean, it's like I said, once you know it, it's very easy to do. So we're gonna go back up and past Richard again, and we're gonna get our first sighting of Jan, the giant snake. Jill with Jan will have an extra cutscene that Chris does not, so you'll want to skip that. Don't mash start when skipping cutscenes either, because you can enter the pause menu after doing so. And, well, you don't want to do that. Just wasting time. Notice little stair skating up, even in those 4 steps. Through the door here. Just run straight forward. Alright, trigger Jan. And Jill will run forward here. That's the cutscene you skip. Yeah, she runs forward. It's a lot longer route. You grab that, go around to the right here. Take a wide berth there, because Jan can kind of fall on you and bite you. And if Jan bites you, it's a reset, because you'll be poisoned, and, that's that. But yeah, make sure you give yourself plenty of room. The moment you get greedy is when you get bit. In that instance. And Richard dies in semi-honor there for us, and the zombie takes his place back in the hallway. Just run around him, take the inside route around him. Alright, once again, I did it pretty quickly here. That zombie there is another one you could wait to check on and see which side he'll be on when the camera shifts. But you have to react quickly, because he's pretty close. So you need to make your move quickly out of that turn, but you should see where he is and have plenty of time to react. For the night puzzle here, just top right, bottom left, bottom right. Oh, wow, I slid off of it there. I'm watching the VOD, and I cropped out the like my cam and splits and everything. I just sit there, I slide off of that night in the bottom left, and I see myself shaking my head like, what the hell? Not what the hell to the game, what the hell to myself, by the way. Alright, just head on out. As I said, if you want to see the full VOD of this, I do have those up on YouTube. I still played this game a lot, but after getting the last Chris PB, the one I did, I think I might be done speedrunning it formally for a while. I do fun runs of these games all the time, but okay, let me shut up here. When you go down the steps here, let me back it up a bit. Alright. You just go through here, obviously. Stair skate down, stair skate down. Alright, you want to take a wide turn to get this angle here around the zombie grab and get into this room. It's nice. It's much easier than it might seem once you've done it a couple of times. Every blue moon, he will grab you as you're passing. It's just bad luck. But make sure you just get far enough over, but not enough that you're like slowing yourself down on the wall either. See, I go around perfectly around his arm, and my shoulder is going to line up just about with the wall here. And we go in here because we're going to pick up flame rounds for our grenade launcher. So you just kind of hit a, just run right to them, pick them up. Yeah, you can easily hit the gas can there when leaving. Alright, just hug the wall and get out of there. There's a prompt that the door handle will break, but you don't have to worry about that. That's what that extra little option is there. Right, head in here to the picture room. This room, I highly recommend using the D-pad through. It's makes your movement much cleaner. You hit the first one that you see, then run around the end here. Hit the first one, the middle one, and then you're done. It's that easy. It's a very basic puzzle. A lot less time consuming than the old Path of Life one from the original. Yeah, grab the death mask and head on out. Back into the graveyard, and it'll be time for Elder Crimson. This fight is very straightforward for Jill. With Chris, you may remember I had to do a trick involving a flash grenade. Jill, you just take the grenade launcher, put some flame rounds in it, and shoot him. Now, there is something to how Elder Crimson reacts to your nades. Don't just fire endlessly at him. You need 3 to kill him, but you may want to wait for his body to kind of... He doesn't necessarily have iframes, but the way he reacts, it's almost like he'll take a little less damage if you fall, like, shoot him too many times right in a row. You'll notice it's a slight delay shot when I get here to him. I still haven't equipped it yet. Wait until the 4th mask to go ahead and equip your stuff. There you go. Flame rounds on. Launcher equipped. Mask used. So the first thing I'll do, though, when I go to kill him is I'll run to the center of the room, because what can happen is if you're standing at an awkward angle from him, he can move right as you shoot and you will miss. And it's very frustrating. So I run to the center, shoot him. You notice I wait, shoot him. And then it's almost like just wait for the fire to disappear, saying it now. That's a good way to think of it. But it's a very, very easy fight. Sometimes you'll knock him over. You can go up right to his feet and aim down and shoot him. Once then, the only problem is that does run the risk of not hurting him, but if he falls over, it's going to take up a chunk of time if you just wait for him to get back up. But that was a pretty spot-on fight. I got a gold on that one, even. But yeah, you just grab the stone and metal object. Like, right as that 3rd shot hits, he'll make a death rattle cry, and you know you're done with him. And you can start heading towards the coffin to get it. So the final zombie of the mansion, first mansion here. Oh, we got the grab here. That's good, because sometimes he'll just walk dead to you and not do anything. You just go around him. Other times he'll grab like that. Try and keep your body straight through here, so you run right into the little indicator for the stone and metal object, mainly because you just don't want to take too long here, as a dog can spawn in. Alright, so we're going to head to the cavern here. Go ahead and grab the aid spray here. Don't grab the hitboxes like I did. The aid spray here is pretty important, because we'll get to the guardhouse, and at the bottom of it is the aqua ring with sharks. The sharks are almost guaranteed to hit you, and they will knock you into, most likely, caution, orange, and slow you down. So yeah, I was already in yellow. I wasn't going to risk it any further here. So with the spinning cocks here, you do west and north, both pointing kind of towards Jill, I guess. It's kind of hard to say where they're pointing towards, but it's the same direction for both of them. West and north, and then just head on out. The speeds on them will vary. Sometimes they'll be slow or super fast, or they'll start slow and go fast. Just be patient. Make sure you're sure, because if you hit the wrong one, you'll have to wait for a little bit for the statue to turn. And, well, you don't want that. So, we're on our path to Lisa here. A lot of the movement here you'll just get used to over time. Just stay on the trail, dodge around the trees, stair skate up, do kind of a turn in the middle of it there to get yourself up there. head on into the cabin. And just run around, left, left, left. All right, in time for the item box, drop your lighter and the armor key. The armor key should be the only one you have left. Then run down here and grab the square crank. All right, just run forward and time for Lisa. Now with Lisa, all I ever do with her is I'll take a slight step forward and then I hit up and right on the analog stick and wait for her attack. You take the step forward to bait the attack, then just run basically into the wall, the corner behind you, so she'll miss, and then you just run around her. Every once in a while, she won't attack the way you think, but for the most part, this will assure you safety. Yeah, see, right into the corner, and then just go. If you don't go out far enough, she'll take an extra step and she'll hit you when you're doing what I just did there. And, well, you don't want that, because Lisa's pretty much guaranteed to get you into orange health. Unless you're at full when you meet her, but yeah, she hits hard. Gonna run around here. You notice the zombie tried to puke on you. At a certain point of elevation, zombies' attacks go from puking to grabbing, so, I thought that one grabbed, to be honest, but maybe he was high enough up that that doesn't happen. Anyway, heading on back through here. And with the crank, we can head out to the courtyard. Not the cleanest stair skating here, but again, I admit I'm far from great at it. There are tons of people that do it much better. It just takes practice, but it's also a matter of just how quickly you can mash. I can't mash quickly in anything, so you know, it'll all vary on your skill set there, but it's not like let's say you can't mash at all, you know, you can just barely do it. It doesn't mean you can't learn the game and do a solid run still. Don't worry about it like that. And just go through here. Use your square crank. Just yeah, work your way on down. I mean, not much to say really through here. It's pretty much a direct route. I actually got a little close to those crows there. I took a little bit of a wider turn there than I anticipated and or what I would have liked, and crows almost actually kind of got me there. See some of the baby snakes drop down. We'll be dealing with those on the way back. Not those in particular, but where we use the crank. So anyway, into the guardhouse here. We'll be going through the double doors at the very end of this first hall here. And what you'll want to do is hit up and left on the D-pad, and then run, obviously, right out of the door here. So you'll take a wide turn, a nice clean turn around there. Don't grab the shotgun shells, and grab the red book. Back up. The spider, if you're quick enough, shouldn't give you much trouble. Every once in a while, it'll do its best to, but you should be fine. Just work your way around. Obviously, the vines, I don't know if the grab time is random with those, but just mash, not so hard that you like end up pulling up the menu after you get out or anything like that, but rotate the stick or analog and mash and do your best to get out as quickly as you can. Skip the cutscene with Barry and Wesker, another one with Barry, then run back and go into the room that was on Jill's left when she came in, which will be a bathroom here. No, just run over here, grab a key. We'll be doing a bit of back and forth here through the guardhouse. If you're concerned at all about making V-Jolt, don't worry, you do not do that in the speedrun. Nothing like that. A lot of unneeded time for that, especially when you see how quickly Jill deals with Plant 42. Alright, shake off the vines again. Through this door. Then we'll be doing the same thing, going right into the bathroom. Or, well, left into the bathroom. I said right into the bathroom, I guess, and right away, but yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway, it's up here, grab the key here for the control room. And we'll be heading down to the Sharks and Neptune. And one more vine. Those things are definitely a pain. And just past that and through this door again here. Alright, this zombie coming up here, just run to one of its sides. Ooh, I got a quick turn there too, so it's good I went to the left on the screen. Push once back, once right. You don't even need to push it as far right as I did there. Just enough that you can click the get the hitbox of the ladder triggered. So we're coming down to the boxes here. Not much to say on them. It's a very direct puzzle, but the big thing is getting the movement like I did there, where basically I cut and I landed right in between the two boxes there. That's pretty much the quickest way to do this. Otherwise, it's just, the slog of pushing them. Push, push, push. And just keep pushing. Oh, people love the boxes, the callbacks. So after the boxes, you'll see a green herb. If you're like in low health now, where you know you're going to have to use your aid spray right away after the shark attack, it would not be a bad idea to pick up the green herb just in case the zombie we passed to come down the ladder here grabs you on your way up, because it can be a bit of a problem sometimes. It is not a bad safety net herb to take, because you're going to take guaranteed damage. Not guaranteed, but about 95% of the time you're going to take damage here. Because what you're going to want to do is come around here and you take the inside route because it's much quicker, and you're inevitably going to take a hit. And that, you notice that knocked me into orange. So I go ahead and insta heal. So if I'm running the risk that, let's say that zombie upstairs bites me, I won't be able to heal it. And then I'll be entering the hunters with yellow health. But, at this point I was comfortable enough with the run that I was willing to risk it. So anyway, you just come down here and then check the board here, and it'll be, you'll see the number. I got valve 3, as you may have seen. And it'll be just 1, 2, or 3. It's totally random. And yeah, just go ahead and solve the little sequence here of back and forth between the panels. One on the right, the one on the left. All right, no good. So we come back around here, and then we'll go to the valves. And since I got 3, just hit left once. All right, panel on the right again. Panel on the left again. Pull the lever down. And then finally the panel out front here, which will drain the water. Okay. And just head on out and we'll see some sharks up close. Alright, just take this inside route. The left side is actually kind of blocked off. You want to go this way. See that panel there, or cart, whatever that is, and the shark are kind of blocking it. So you'll go to the left of Neptune here. And go ahead and trigger the cutscene here. So now what we're going to be doing is called the Neptune Skip. Alright, what we're going to do is drop into the water, and we're going to take a very slight bit of movement forward. Very, very slight. You'll see it when I do it. And then just dart to the right, hit X, or well, whatever your acquire button is, and pick up the key. That'll be right about here. So what you'll want to do is just drop down, very slight forward, dart over, mashing the pickup button. You'll see it in play here. What the game wants you to do is push the generator in and electrocute. So you notice electrocute Neptune, but we don't, too long. So anyway, just jump down. See, notice the little bit of forward, very, very little. And then you see I'm already positioned to the right, run right. I'm mashing the button and it picks it up, and then just hit down and get the hell out of there. It's one of the things I mentioned in the other video as well, where once you get it, you'll probably get it every time. You might end up screwing it up a few times beforehand, so maybe make a save up in the guardhouse before, and so you can practice it. But overall, it's very, very easy to actually execute. Like I said, once you know it, you'll have it. You'll be fine. It's like a lot of the things in this game. There's a lot of randomness to it, and there is difficulty getting movement right and everything. But really, with enough practice, you can get a very good time in this game. And, it won't take you forever. And just head on back to the ladder. Don't hit no like I did. I don't want to go see this zombie. Maybe that's what it was. This guy can be a bit of a troll for you. I got a lunge, but see, he can do that secondary lunge, which is very frustrating, which is, like, right now I'm, like, probably thinking, why the hell didn't I take that herb? That right there is a good example of why. Because I baited the lunge and dodged it. That part was perfect, and then he just does a second one. There's nothing you can do about it, because he is body blocking that path totally. So, it's a bit of a risk, because you will have to kind of run into him and nudge past him. But more often than not, he'll lunge and you can get by him, so don't, be freaking out about it. But still, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating when that happens. So you grab the insect spray from in the corner there, and come over here, and you'll be getting another bit of RNG, which is the bee death. When you use this, the bees will fall in any number of patterns where they'll kind of all, like, see, you notice how a bunch of them just kind of all kaput over there, dead? That was actually a really good one, but there are others where all of them will drop kind of one at a time, and it'll eat up so much unneeded time. And, it's something that you say, well, it's only like 5 seconds. Well, 5 seconds can, determine a PB or not, or any number of things. It's a speed run. You don't want that time being lost on something you can't control, for sure. So anyway, go into the room here, and we'll begin prep for Plant 42. Just run down here to the bookshelf and take out the file, which is the V-Jolt report, I believe. Go ahead and equip your grenade launcher and use the book. On the book puzzle, do the first one to the foot, right one, then just left, left, bam, then left, right, right. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Then head on through the door here. What you're going to want to do is just head up top, and we'll be doing a technique called pump canceling with the grenade launcher. So what this is I'll wait until Jill's up here. All right, wait for Plant 42 to reveal itself. All right, you notice I aim up for one. Make sure you aim up. And you'll hit it with a flame round right around here. Right after you fire, instead of waiting for the animation to finish, just like you fire, then move Jill just a smidge. She doesn't have to move much, just enough that she moves a little bit, and it'll cancel the animation of like all the recoil of firing the grenade launcher, so you can fire like instantly again. See, I move a bit and I'm firing again, and you know, after the second shot, you'll get the animation here. If you're quick enough with it, you will have enough time to fire your third shot before the pedals close and you can get out of there. That seemed difficult. It seemed like, wow, that was way too whatever. It's not hard at all. It's very easy to get that trick down. That's one of the things I honestly just read about and just tried and got it in no time. It very simple stuff. You'll get it. So just grab the helmet key and leave, though. It'll be time to return to the mansion. Obviously, make sure you unequip your grenade launcher in there, too, after killing the plant. The pump canceling we'll do again when dealing with Tyrant at the end of the game. But really, it's not much of a... You know, you don't use them. You just don't fight all that much in this game, period. The only time you really don't do it, or at least I don't, is in the Elder Crimson fight. Because as I mentioned, he has kind of that weird delayed damage, it seems. So I always hold off on that. But as we work our way back around, we'll be coming up on the snake passing. Skip the cutscenes here, obviously. But those little snakes we mentioned when they were heading past here, they fell down. Well, we're going to have to kind of take a path around them here. And they aren't dangerous in the fact that they'll kill you, but they are dangerous that they can poison you, which is basically just killing your run. But if you take the right route, you can get pretty consistent with getting by them. So hopefully I do it right here, you know. But just run down here, straight down. All right, you notice. Straight down this path, then just hug this corner, and we're going to run across here and down this way. It is a slight turn here, but hug this rail pretty much across and hug this side of the little walkway. Yep, see, notice I stuck to the left there, and you'll get by them pretty easily. It's another thing that just takes some practice. I highly, highly recommend using the D-pad through there for the sake of precision. Alright, just down here, just run straight. You know, do what you need to around the dogs. I get a bit of bad luck there and get a jump attack. There's a bit of an invisible wall there, you notice, where my arm was caught on the wall, I guess. And it held me up, but just adjust off of that if that happens to you. So here, go ahead and grab the grenade rounds in the back there. If you need to, grab the aid spray, which I'm in yellow, so I go ahead and do it. Thank you to that zombie again. But it's not a bad idea to take it anyway, because there's a chance you'll have to kill the hunters here. And I couldn't tell you what happens on this run, so we'll find out how I deal with them. The hunter stairwell is the room that probably cost me the most runs in my time playing this. And what you want to do is bait out the bottom one to attack, so you have time to get past it going up the steps. Essentially is what we're doing here. So you notice I run here, and you notice I'll go to cut you off. I managed to stair skate by him. All right, so what's all right. So I saw him roar, so I was banking on him swinging at me. So I booked it because he was right beside me and I didn't want him to hit me. So you can do it this way, like I am now, but you have to really have your stair skating spot on. Or what'll happen is he'll jump up and cut you off. Then you got both of them here, and the only way you're going to get out of it is if you pull out your grenade launcher and kill them both. Obviously, you don't want to do that for the sake of time, the sake of ammo. So, yeah, you don't want to do it that way. But I get very lucky. I was just quick enough, as you can see, to get by him. Because I actually was a little early with my climbing of the steps there. Not pretty at all, but then again, this is very quick. I'm going to save a good deal of time going through here. And, yeah, once you're there, the good thing with Jill, too, is you're done with the hunters in that area now. You know, Chris, when you play him on the 100%, you have to go through there again. But Jill is done, and you know, she's home free. But, puzzle in here. Let's go ahead and line yourself up and push. I use the analog stick to push stuff like this. And, it doesn't really matter which you use for that type of stuff. But I'll use the D-pad on the other movement in here. What I'll do is I'll turn Jill around quickly by hitting down on the analog stick here. And then I'll switch to the tank controls and run around to take the corners tightly. Actually, I don't know if I did that. I might have done all this with the analog stick watching it back. Okay, well, nowadays I use the D-pad through there. But as you can see, the analog stick is a valid option. I think it's easier to control and be more precise with the D-pad, but clearly you can see where it can work, though. Is it the most efficient? Probably not, but it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you going for a world record? You just want to do a speed run and learn this, or what? You know, depends on what your goals are there. So focus on your comfort and understanding where you are with what you want to do, I guess, is a good way to put it. But head on down here. Alright. Past the spiders. The spider on the ground will never bother you. He just raises his arms up and lets you pass. The only time that spider is aggro is on very easy, which is crazy, but it's insanely aggro there. So on the dodge here with this zombie, I don't know if I do it here or not. I don't know if I learned this at the time. The best way to do it, though, is run to these barrels here to bait a grab and then run back and around, back and then down through. Let's see what I do here. I might just bait over. Oh yeah, I do the barrel thing. He didn't do it. He didn't take it though. I rushed it way too much. That was really sloppy. Thankfully, I did have my aid spray there. And the problem with that is now I'm going to have to get by him again, but thankfully I had enough room. There you go. Bait the dodge on that guy. Yeah, never, never, never take anything lightly in this, like I just did there. I tried to be fancy and just half-assed it, and I got bit for it. You can't do that. You gotta just bait the grab on that guy. There is a dagger there in the kitchen. You may have seen it on Jill's left when I was going past there if you need it, if you want another defense item. Because we will be going through the murder hall again here. One thing you can do here is hit up and right and run with the D-pad right out of here. And you'll want to hug the wall on the right after making your full loop. And you'll get past that zombie right there every time. Just get to the wall there. Alright, make sure you grab these acid rounds. It's very important. They are pretty much required. And then grab the battery. And leave. Acid rounds will be coming in play here very shortly. All right, head on back through here. Now, here comes the murder hall again. A lot of this is dependent on where the middle zombie is, that bald zombie I talked about earlier in this video. But bait the attack from that guy to dodge. All right, that part's pretty basic. Now, the Crimson Head, he is always standing here. Now, the other one is clearly around the corner here somewhere. He can be in the way sometimes, but for the most part, the Crimson Head is always here. And he'll come running at you, and, you know, he's not like the other ones where you'll have to try and bait a grab. He'll just do it if you're close enough. So, you know, that's one advantage of dealing with them, is the fact that you know they're going to attack and not try and troll you. So he swipes, and I just go. He tried to grab, and the bald guy was up here. If you watch the Chris video, he was all the way by the door, but it's essentially the same dodge, where you just go around the back one of his sides. Whichever side he's leaves you more room on, take that. And he should try and spin around and miss you. Sometimes you get bad luck. If you're wondering, like, what the hell am I doing wrong? More often than not, it may not be you doing anything wrong. I mean, you might be, I don't know, but there's a lot of times where the unusual happens with these zombies. Keep that in mind. Where every once in a while, even the best players will just get grabbed because something does a little bit out of the unusual, or out of the ordinary, well, whatever, out of the usual. And, you know, it happens. It's part of the running the game, and you'll know pretty early on if this game is for you as a speedrun, if you can stand that idea and do the resets that have to follow with it. So for now, we're going to be dealing with Yawn again, and here's where we're going to be utilizing the pump canceling again. Go ahead and equip your acid rounds and equip the grenade rounds. Fire. You notice the quick movement. You saw that really little bit of twitch there from Jill. Fire again. Twitch. Fire again. Run to the back end. Fire again. Fire again. So that's 5 rounds into it. Now that's actually enough to kill it already, I believe. You just run, take that angle, aim up, and shoot it one final time. And that will kill Yawn. Now, if you have any spare acid rounds, fire them off. Oh, I apologize for the alert there. That's random. I just remember I usually don't have those. I don't have those set on the game anymore. I forgot they'd be here. But I used all 6 acid rounds there because I fired 5 at the top. You will always have to fire something at the bottom because you cannot kill Yawn up top. It has to die on the ground. So if you have any extra, fire them off now. Then unequip your grenade launcher, grab the book, and head out of here. Oh, these early stream days, though. I haven't seen the merchant alert, and I couldn't tell you how long. Yeah, this is definitely a throwback video from the when I was just getting started. Alright, so we'll be going through the murder hall again here, but this time you shouldn't have to worry about dodging anything. You just run down here and take that immediate door on the left. You should be safe every time. As long as your movement is clean, you'll be fine. Alright, then take this door on the right here. Well, Jill's right. Which will be another helmet key door. And in here, we'll go ahead and grab the light. There's some grenade rounds here. You'll notice I only have 1 slot right now, but what you'll be doing is reloading the grenade launcher to take care of that. Notice I push each shelf once, just once. Climb up, grab the yellow one. I'm assuming I'm going to do the menuing right before I pick up the other gem. That's when I would usually do it. It doesn't really matter. You could do it when you put the reason you don't do it when you unequip it after the Yawn fight is because you're going to be picking up that extra case of rounds right there anyway. So with having those acquired, you would have to do extra step if you did it right after the Yawn fight. So that's why you don't do it then. Go ahead and head on down. Hug the wall here. As long as you just keep moving, the hunter shouldn't give you any trouble there. All right, take Jill's right through this door here, and we're going to use the yellow gem in this room. And the old one used blue and red. This one, it's blue and yellow. Use that, and this will get us our first modisc, which we'll need 3 of these to save Chris, which is required for the 100%. I don't know why they don't just call it the good ending or whatever, but I guess 100% sounds more official. I don't know, but anyway, that is required. It's not like we're finding all the files or killing all the enemies or something like that. But anyway, time to head back to the main hall, which thankfully we're right by. Just take the left past that zombie. Easy stuff. Just down and right with the analog stick right here can get you to that door pretty much. Then just work your way through here one more time. And then just across to the top right room here. It'll be our final helmet key door, so you'll dump the key there. And just run around the globe there. I guess that's a globe. I don't know what the hell that is. I never looked at it. I don't remember examining it. Alright, this guy here is very easy to dodge. Just run straight ahead, straight down to the left. And then just do the same thing again. You can also cut inside here, depends on where he ends up. But bam, bam, bam kind of thing. Yeah, something like that. You can go this way to get out or back around. Depends where he is. Kind of adjust accordingly. So you notice he lunged early at me there. And I just take the inside route out. Very easy dodge. There is a dagger in there and an herb if you need either of those. So you would have to kind of adjust your movement based on that. But ideally, you don't want to be worrying about that there, because that's the only way you can let that zombie really become a problem, is if you're doing stuff like that. And then we're going to head back through the graveyard for our nice shortcut. And just head on down through the gate, and we'll be coming back to where that very first hunter entered. Now, what you'll want to do with the hunter is run straight and to Jill's left, the hunter's right. Don't stop. Just go from the get-go, and you should get by it every time. As long as you don't run into, like, too far to the right, or if you stop, that's the only way you can get into trouble here. But just run to Jill's left and straight forward, and yeah, you'll get by that attack every time. He's busy screaming, and you're already passing him before he's even done roaring. You know, easy does it, and then just head on around here and through. We'll be heading back to the courtyard. Have to do some dog dodging, which is a bit random. If you're getting bit, that means you're probably getting a little too close to them and you're not probably moving quick enough. As long as you're not colliding with stuff, most of the time you can just run past like this. The big threat with the dogs really is the fact that they can do a jump kind of flip kick attack to you, which will make your character stop. And it doesn't do much damage, but it's kind of just an annoyance thing as much as anything. And, you know, I don't know. It happened twice in the Chris run. I don't know if it happens here. All right, you'll notice the route with the snakes, by the way. I took that same route back through here that I did going through. Let me back it up here. Okay. Let's just watch this again. I kind of forgot about this again, but yeah. Same route as before. Climb up, hug this side, and just basically go straight and across and around this rail here. Just hug that straight to the corner and around it. I'm a little loose with it, but that's fine. What I did there is fine. The big thing is how you cross the whole little section there. That's where they're most likely to bite at you, unless you're just like way in, like on top of them or something. But then just go straight and you're fine. And just like that, the little snakes are done. Now the dogs here this is the one dog that could cause you a little bit of issue, but again, keep yourself moving. Yeah, most of the time he's busy doing something. You'll notice I'm doing the emblem puzzle now. This is one of those things that you just want to wait until you're going to have to open the menu to go ahead and do. You can do it here, you can do it in the caverns using the crank, anything like that. As far as solving this puzzle, any order of those pieces will work. You don't have to solve it the way I did to get through it. As long as the pieces fit together like that, any direction they're facing is fine. But you'll notice I opened the key, but I did not close the menu. That's the important part. I used the battery, and that's what ended it. Make sure you don't... The whole point of doing the box there is that you're not wasting the time opening the menu again. And anyway, after that, use the battery, go up the elevator, and then through here. So we'll use the square crank again. Of course, this will open up the caverns for us. Get the plenty of hunters to dodge in the cavern, but overall, one of the more, I say peaceful is the right word, but low-key areas in the entire run. The only real threat through here is Black Tiger, and we'll address that. There's a jump attack. That's what I was talking about. You notice it doesn't do much damage. I mean, it does make you stop, so it hurts you time-wise, but the big thing, it's just annoying. You're trying to do a speed run, get past these stupid dogs, and one of them just kind of kick flips you. Now, I took a stupid route there. I ran inside, so I went right beside the dog. I should have gone to the outside there, and I would have been able to probably been fine. But thankfully, all it did was kick flip me again. So I took 2 of them on the way here. Anyway, when you get down the ladder, go through the first door you see there. And just run on through here. There are plenty of health items around here and stuff like that. I don't pick any of them up that I don't need. But if you do need them, just know that there's stuff around. Yeah, take a right and take this route around. It's a little quicker to get over to Enrico and the X crank. Yeah, skip that scene. Hit X to pick it up, or well, whatever your grab item is, and then skip the scene again because she'll crouch down to Enrico. Then just run past that hunter there and get out of there. Alright. Take a right, or Jill's left. Same way you went before to get around there. There's more to do in that room, but we don't do it yet, and going over that side is just going to slow us down. Right? Around that guy. Yeah. Hunter's pretty basic stuff. As long as you get the jump on them and you keep moving, you should get by them all the time through the caverns here. Alright, so inventory time. I put the grenade launcher away for the knife, and then I put the square crank away. Honestly, if I was doing this again, I don't know if I'd do it quite this way, but it works. The big thing is you want the knife. And the grenade launcher I put away because it was in the first inventory slot. And then the square crank. But then I grabbed this herb here as well, preparing for a potential hit from Black Tiger. The knife is important because you need to cut the webbing. With Chris, you get the Flamethrower, which makes it a lot easier. One of the few benefits of his run. Yeah, really, and then the boulders here, just, pretty basic stuff. Just run away from them. With Black Tiger, as it comes in, be hitting down and left on the analog stick. By doing this, you will force an action from Black Tiger by going that route. It'll either spit poison, attack, or pounce across the screen. I got the poison, so I just run around it. I go over here and start slashing. Now, there's an amount of luck that can happen. I got greedy there, and that shot the poison and hit you. But Black Tiger could run up there and just punch you, and you're screwed. It's a bit of luck. Now, I got very lucky I did not get poisoned there, or that would have probably screwed up my entire run. So I go ahead and I use my green herb. I don't know why I did that there. That was inefficient. But nevertheless, I didn't need to heal there, but if you do get into orange, definitely do it. I should have waited to heal right here because I'm opening my menu. You notice I go ahead and unequip my knife and rotate around. But again, make sure you open the menu as little as possible when using items like that. Right here, I should have used the herb here. It would have changed absolutely nothing, but, you know. Easy to be critical looking back. In the moment, it's very difficult sometimes to make the right call and things like that. But it's something that comes with experience. And even then, this is the best run I did of this category. I've played a hell of a lot of this game since this one. So here we are with the cylinder puzzle. Just push this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Run over here. Use the hex crank. And what we're doing here is you don't push it all the way because you want to leave this space here open so Jill can push it without having to use the crank again. Which, as you can see, worked fine. 1, 2.5. Get that in front of the turntable thing here. Turn it once. 1, 2, and a little bit. So you leave Jill just enough foot space to hit the ground and not the turntable, so that way it doesn't turn her as well. And you push it back on there. Then 1, 2.5. A little bit of space again there, just enough. That's all you need. So it won't turn her. And then just push this the rest of the way on forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can see it won't, actually this one's pretty good, but sometimes it won't line up exactly, but if it's close enough, you'll get it in there. Grab the cylinder and get the hell out of there. So we'll be going past Black Tiger again. I don't know what I'm going to do on this run, but sometimes what you'll want to do is go in there and take a little stutter step to basically bait the attack from Black Tiger. Because if you just run blindly in there, you run the risk of running right into its melee attack, and that'll knock you across the screen, and you don't want that. So we'll see what happens here. I just go for it. I take a bit of a wide turn, so I was prepping to dodge the melee attack. What I did was basically about as quick as baiting it would have been, since I took the wider turn instead of baiting and taking the direct route. There's nothing wrong with what I did there, though. That's fine. Just do your best to make sure you don't get hit. At the end of the day, do something. Don't just run blindly straight across, or you're putting yourself at major risk. So I put the knife away in exchange for the grenade launcher, and then I put the hex crank away. Okay, just keep going on by. Like I said, just keep moving with the hunters, and you'll be fine. And time for the broken flamethrower. So now we're in this room. Just go straight over here and time for this little, it's not really even a puzzle, I guess. You know, you would combine these items and you turn the dial to see the code for the elevator, which is 4, 2, 3, 1. Pretty straightforward stuff here. Okay, you do that and then you meet up with old Barry again. Everybody's favorite. Although he's nowhere near as fun in this game as the original. The original, he's so bad, he's great. Yeah, just skip the cutscenes with him. You'll be right in front of the door, which is nice. And time to deal with Lisa again. So, with Lisa here, you'll notice what I do is, obviously you come up this way. There she is. I'm just going straight for it. All right, this is the optimal thing. I'm kind of glad I did this. In the Chris video, if you go to this section, what I do is I wait and bait an attack from her. There she is there. And so she attacks and I run by like this. With Jill, I was feeling ballsy, I guess, and just said, fuck it, and went around. You can do this. The movement is very precise here because, as you can see, there's a lot of pillars, like wooden pillars here, and all little things. If you clip any of this stuff, you run the risk of her hitting you. You have got to be spot on, never stop. Don't clip anything, but above all, don't get too close to her either. So if you do all that, you can pull off that dodge there. It looks pretty damn awesome when you pull it off too. It's very satisfying. Alright, so with the crate here, just push it once, all the way. And it lines up right here, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half. All right, the panel here sometimes control you. I think it might be patched out. It used to be where you would hit it, and sometimes the gondola would not go on the console version, by the way. If that would have, by some chance, happen to you, just keep mashing it, and it'll eventually go. It's just a little bug that can screw you up, but I believe that is out of the game now. So coming back around Lisa here, we're going to take the inside route, just like we did before. Coming from this direction is much, much easier to do that with. But just hug the wall. It's like I said, don't stop, hug the wall, and don't get too close to her. Know the angle you're taking. It'll take you some practice, but that second one especially is not too bad. Yeah, just practice. That's the big thing with speedrunning in general, just practice. It can be frustrating or, very intimidating or anything like that if you see some games run and you're like, I could never do that. Well, the people you're watching have logged hundreds of thousands of hours into these games, and that's why. So never feel bad if you're in a situation like that. Just try. Most any game can be learned pretty well. In a matter of a week, the amount of progress you can make is just insane. And so after we crush the box, we get the broken flamethrower. And we'll have one more Lisa dodge to do. I'm going to guess I bait her again, but yeah, I got a nice gold split there because of that first dodge, probably. Just looking at those there. Okay, through here. Alright, I believe I'm just gonna bait an attack from her. Yeah, that's what I originally do on the first time through, too. You can do it that same way. Just dodge her and get by her. But pull the lever and just go. The big thing with here is just having your movement correct. Because, making sure Jill's in proper line and all that stuff. But really, it's not too bad. Alright, the big thing with this... Oh, I messed up my movement a little bit there. The risks of analog movement. Like I said, D-pad is optimal for a reason. It's one nice thing about it. Make sure you grab the jewelry box. Don't forget it. It's crazy how easy it is to forget it. Go ahead and just hit up out of there and head on out. The ladder here, and we'll be back in Lisa's cabin. It's pretty amazing with this game how well it all kind of ties together all the environments and everything. It's one of my favorite aspects of this game. So with this turn, take the path out of here. Let me back this up real quick. There's this path is hard to make look right. It's easy to bump in, but all right, just take a left. The big thing here is this is a left turn. From this view, it's very easy to think this is the stairwell down, or at least to me it is anyway. So it took me a bit to get this, but it's a left down here, left here. And then just a quick right down the steps, stair skate down those steps. Then just adjust and work your way down. Stair skate every step, if you can. All right. Time to head on back to the mansion now. Just maneuver around those trees however you have to, depending on where the zombie is. Just kind of feather your movement down through the path here. If you take too hard of turns, you could run into the trees and slow yourself down a little bit, but just try and keep yourself on the main path. And right on by that zombie, he shouldn't be any issue for you. Okay, through here, up the steps, up the steps. And believe it or not, we'll be heading to the labs here in a matter of moments. There's a taser there if you would need it. There's actually two in there if you would need them. Like I said, don't feel bad if you have to take that type of stuff. But whatever you do, don't forget to take the stone and metal object. You'll hate yourself for a brief moment if you do. Forget that. But anyway, in here, the big thing with this room now is to be quick. Know where the door is that you're going to and everything. So that way the hunter's still just kind of freaking out because you're there before it can attack you. But run over, turn on the light, grab the metal object, and get the hell out of there. Oh, I go ahead and take the taser here. That's interesting. I'm guessing I take the taser for the bomb canister zombie instead of shooting it. Okay. Anyway, head back through the paint portrait room here, and through this shortcut, if I can talk, which will take us back to the main hall. Yep, go and stair skate down, and then we go behind the steps here. Down, down. Alright, just go ahead and use the stone and metal object, then get the other one prepped. Which you do have to open the menu an extra time here. It's a bummer that you can't use the object before it closes, but the picture makes you. Alright, time to head down and deal with Lisa once and for all. This fight can be a bit stressful. It's made easier depending on how active your AI companion is. Sometimes they don't do anything and make it very stressful on you. Other times they overwork and make it very easy. Let's see how this one goes. The big thing is to just try and not get hit, because Lisa has a swinging attack that can knock you over. She also has back tentacles that can come out and hit you and push you off the side. Those are the things you want to avoid. She hits very hard, but just take your time. Take what the game gives you. Make sure you hit yes, by the way, there. If you hit no, Barry dies and you screw up your run. So go ahead and push that over. Push this over. We're still waiting on Barry. Okay, there's a shot from Barry. I take it safe. The quickest way is to push the one in the top right, but Lisa was right there, so I didn't bother with it. Barry shot her, which was clutch, because that broke it, so she couldn't hit a back attack, and we got through. It's just a matter of pushing those off and avoiding her, but take what the game gives you with that fight, because like right there, Barry shot. If Barry doesn't shoot her there, I'm going to have to wait for her to not only attack, but then also wait for her back attack before I start pushing. So I hate to say it's a matter of luck, but it is, as far as the fastest way to get it. The ideal situation is you're pushing like the first one, and Lisa jumps across, which she can do, and she basically puts herself on the side there, and you can just run, free and take care of it there, but good luck with getting that to happen. So anyway, out here, we'll go ahead and use our Wolf and Eagle medals and open the path to the labs. Which, oddly enough, if you played the GameCube version of this game, which is the original release of it, this is just the start of Disc 2. Hard to believe, but there are a lot of cutscenes, I guess, in it for all the endings and everything, but still. It's not a large portion of gameplay, for sure. So head on down the ladder here, and we'll just start working our way down to where we can unlock some doors in here. Okay, dodge that guy. The zombies in here can kind of be randomly placed, except for the one on the steps here. He'll be the same spot, but that first guy can be anywhere on the floor there. But he's pretty consistent with his attacking, it seems, so you don't have to worry about that. Here's the only zombie we kill in the wild. Grenade launcher him down. Sometimes you will shoot him down, and he'll get back up. He may not be dead on first shot, which is so frustrating because it screws up your ammo count. But just shoot him again if that happens. Login is of course John. Ada is the password. To open the doors, they'll ask you another password here, which is Cell, C-E-L-L. So do second floor. Make sure you do the third floor as well. You can hit X through these little pop-up screens. Just don't hit it too many times, though, or you'll screw up the next part. Just hit it like once or twice there. Alright, don't run into the chair like I did and go ahead and leave. We'll be going back upstairs now to go get the laboratory key. Alright, yeah, as you can see, he's dead. And if you're wondering, his body is there because he could turn into a Crimson Head, but thankfully, as long as you're moving at the right pace, going through the right doors, you should not have to worry about him turning into a Crimson Head. So going up here, hug the left, so you avoid that zombie there. Grab the second Modisc and head on in. So this room here, you can get quite a few items if you need them. There's the third Modisc, which you have to get. The passcode for the door here is 8462. You can see pretty clearly there on the screen. But if you need the aid spray, take it. I go ahead and, for safety's sake, there's never mind, those are shotgun shells. I thought they were grenade rounds. It's been a bit, but yeah, if you need the aid spray, definitely take it. Just run forward and kind of adjust your movement there so you don't run into the edge of the steps. Head on back downstairs. And we'll go use the Modiscs now. Well, the first couple anyway. Alright. Take a right and another right and through the double doors here. Bit of interesting movement coming up here. We'll be kind of encountering our first Chimera here. Go through the vent there. Cross through this vent. And then we drop down and we'll go and use the first modisc on the little device here. Which always looked like a bit of a GameCube to me in the old one for some reason. But anyway, unlock the first lock. Then you push this. 1, 2, 3. Stop everything. Take your hand off. So that way Jill can adjust herself correctly. And then just run up. Because if you take even a millisecond too long there, the Chimera will swing at you and more than likely hit you. It's a bit frustrating, but it's just, yeah, it can happen. The naked zombie here, I got greedy. Oh, I can't believe I did that. I wasted the taser there too. I did not want to do that. I know that much. What you want to do there is wait until he gives you a lane, because either he goes so far to one side or he either goes so far to one side or he gets onto the steps so he can't grab you. You want one of those to happen. And yeah, you'll get by him pretty easily. I can't believe I did that. That was so greedy. You notice I go ahead and kill the Chimera. I'm guessing at this point I'm figuring my ammo count is a little off anyway. And I wasted the taser, so I went ahead and killed him. I ignored the zombie there. I'm guessing I'm going to kill the canister zombie as well. We'll see what happens here. I did not kill the canister zombie, or I did kill it in the Chris run. Never mind. Let's see what happens here. I have 16 shots. I believe to kill the super tyrant, you need at the minimum 16. So I'm fine right now, but I can't afford to waste any more. I'd have to take the pistol. We'll see what happens here. Go in here, grab the flame rounds. Very important, grab those flame rounds. So I bait an attack from this guy. This is very risky, but it is the quickest way to do it. Use the second modisc on the table back here. And the reason this is risky is because we're going to be running with the nitroglycerin here. And if you get grabbed, you're pretty much dead. There's a slim chance you'll survive, but oh boy, don't bank on it. So there's the canister. So now it's a walk-run scenario with the tank controls. So you notice, I walk 3 and wait until I'm ready to go by him. I had enough space that that's when I used my run. It's a walk 3, 1, 2, 3, run 5. Watch your feet. Do not get greedy. The moment you get greedy, you blow up and you're dead. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And sometimes, if you feel like you need to take an extra 1 or 2 to walk, do it. Don't. It's better than dying. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Now I'll show you how you should be patient here. You notice I gave him plenty of space to get onto the steps. Perfectly safe. That's how I should have done the first one. But what I was planning to do was use the taser I wasted on him on the zombie with the canister, because that was a lot riskier. But no such luck. So obviously the canister's delivered there. I did avoid the dealing with the Chimera dodge because I just killed it. You can dodge it. It has a pounce attack, a overhand swing, or an air grab. The big thing with all of them is to keep moving, even if you're just walking. By the way, come through here and use the third modisc. Do not forget to do this. But they're pretty easy to dodge. It's just a matter of knowing which attack is coming. And they're very similar to the hunters in that as long as you do keep moving, don't give them time to become a problem. Bottom line. Alright, go ahead and power up the system here. We're pretty much done. As far as like the real danger points, I think this run at this point is pretty much done. I mean, obviously I'll keep filming and everything, keep this going, but I'm just saying, every time, like, once the canister is delivered, I always have a huge sigh of relief, because, you know, as long as my ammo count's not in, like, a real danger, or actually, I believe it might be 14 grenade rounds is the minimum. I've been doing so much Chris lately, I kind of get the numbers mixed up. But I have 16, so I think it's 14 is the minimum, 17 is the max. So I'm banking on 16 being enough. If you need more, the door right there does have a first aid spray. It has a save point. It has more grenade rounds. If you need any of that stuff, go in there and get it. If you're just starting out, especially anyway, go and get that stuff. Finish runs. You know, you'll feel great about it. Because there's nothing worse than getting killed in one of these runs early on. It can kill a lot of momentum you're building up early. You don't want that. Do your best to finish runs, even if it's slower, and you just work yourself up through that stuff. Here we come to Tyrant. Skip all of this stuff with Wesker. I always run forward basically to Wesker's body. I go ahead and equip the grenade launcher. Notice the pump canceling, which is that little bit of movement. And then, yeah, just unload. The 6 flame rounds, easy kill. Then run over to Barry to pick him up. Cross the path here so you can unlock the door. Cross again, and head on out. Tyrant's very easy, but Jill wrecks all the bosses. The grenade launcher just destroys them in this. Chris, it's a little more interesting with the assault shotgun, but yeah, Jill just makes a joke of him. Speaking of Chris, we'll be saving him next. We're starting to head out to the final stretch of the game here. Go through our elevators. Skip the scene there, obviously. Keep your movement clean. I was a little shaky out of the gate there, but not too bad. Alright, take a turn here. By the way, if you're wondering, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. Regardless of what version of the game you're playing, whether you're on PS4, Xbox, Switch, or using a high-end PC, most of the stuff you're seeing in these videos should apply pretty much the same. There's a few little things here and there the PC version can do, but nothing drastic, nothing that you're gonna see that's like, it's stuff like you can run past Lisa in her cabin because you have enough frames to do it, or something like that. But overall, you're seeing this should apply for everyone, is what I'm trying to say overall. But yeah, make sure you go through the door there and open up these locks, because we gotta save Chris. I have done runs before where I was so in the moment, I kind of forgot to go and get Chris or Jill, whichever character I was playing, and had to go save. It can happen. It's a thing when it does, but so don't do that. Don't lose a run because of stuff like that. It's very frustrating when it happens. But it's easy to get stuff mixed up in this game sometimes too, because there's a lot of repetitive environments. The fact that you're just going down the same hall so many times in the mansion anyway, that you can kind of sequence yourself out of it, especially if you've done a bunch of resets. Anyway, with Chris in tow, we just gotta work our way back up through the labs here. Gotta dodge this zombie one final time. I might get bit here. I think I do get bit by this guy. Oh no, they threw the other one up there. Oh yeah, I remember that now. I remember thinking the game was just trying to be a dick and take my PB away. Because that pattern you saw there is very rare. You notice they were both kind of sitting next to each other, so there wasn't much space. So with the 16 shots, I'm playing it very safe. I grabbed the pistol just to give me enough added damage. If you have 17 shots, you should be fine. But if not, I mean, you do run the risk. And The thing is, what can happen is you can finish the game without doing enough damage, but Brad will have to drop the rocket launcher for you, and he can take forever to do that. And what could happen is Barry, who's attacking the Tyrant at the time, could be killed by Tyrant, and that will end your run. So even if you kill it, with Chris saved, you can die there. Or well, your run can die. You know, you can finish the game still, but yeah. So anyway, go ahead and use the fuse. Take the elevator up here. And we'll be prepping for the final Tyrant fight. And just grab the flares. Okay. And you'll notice a lot of pump canceling in this fight right away. But what I'm going to do is shoot. What I want him to do is grab Barry, because they'll do like a hold choke attack, so you can just unload on him, but either way you can pretty well do that. And just keep shooting. One thing, you may want to adjust yourself a little bit as it goes along, just so you're sure you're actually hitting him, because he could walk out of your auto fire from where you're starting at. Oh yeah, I used up all of mine. I missed a couple of shots there now I watch it back. But I did enough damage there. Go over, grab the rocket launcher, dodge to his weak hand. And then just shoot him. He can deflect the rocket. It seems to happen a lot for some people. I don't know what dictates it or not. But he can deflect it. It doesn't happen often to me. I don't know why. But yeah, it can. Just shoot him again if it does. I mean, just fire right again. This is all you have to worry about there. But as far as things go, that's going to bring us pretty much to the end here. I kind of have a weird cut on the screen, I just realized here. Weird cropping job, but anyway. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and link the Chris video in this. I'll link the one with the commentary and the splits if you want to watch that for whatever reason. I'll put both of those in there. If you want more videos like this, if you have suggestions for how to improve them, feel free to put all that stuff into the comments. If you like the video and all that stuff, yeah, just let me know. If you think I should maybe not talk as much, maybe elaborate, take my time more and elaborate on more things, just let me know. If you want more stuff like it, but you want to see it in person, Twitch is the place to go for that. Under the Dans_survival name, I stream there 6 days a week. I do a lot of speedruns. I do a lot of Darkest Dungeon. And I do a lot of, like, I call them fun runs, where I'll play, like, Resident Evil 2, let's just say. We'll watch all the cutscenes and laugh at all the great lines and stuff like that. And I have a pretty good community forming over there, so if that's anything that appeals to you, check that out. And then, yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, if you want, I put a bunch of stuff from the streams up here. I'm trying to do more YouTube-centric stuff, namely these tutorials for Jill and Chris for the first two things there. So I'm hoping to push that a little bit more as well. Hopefully that'll improve, and yeah, we'll keep it going. But for now, that's going to do it. I hope this video was helpful. All I can say is if you're ever nervous about speedrunning, don't be. It is difficult. It does take a lot of time, but most anybody can do it. You just gotta have the, that ability to persevere and push through. Believe in yourself to do it, and you can. It is very rewarding. I'm glad I picked up the hobby. I've been doing it for about 2+ years now. I'm still new compared to a lot of folks, but I highly, highly recommend it. So for now, that's going to be it for me, though. Have yourselves a great, great night. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.